something's got to give. It's the coach. This is NFL football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see two teams, each riding a 3-game win streak, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the Indianapolis Colts. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Just a short time ago, smoke from the pyrotechnics filled the dome as the Colts made their way out of the locker room. We're set for football as the Colts get set to match up with the Miami Dolphins. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden, and Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. They come in playing some decent football, 5-3 in their last 8 games.
And this coaching staff has to be pleased with how their defense played last week. They held their opponents to 3 points, and that was it. If they get anything comparable to that performance, this one's in the bag.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. Ryan Tannehill will be orchestrating the offense, the top 10 pick back in 2012.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Now a play fake, and it's Tannehill. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No,
not at all.
On second down, it's Lewis. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. The All-Pro Justin Houston in on the tackle.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Under pressure, and he's going to go down. Tannehill sacked. Justin Houston racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
Well, a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. So the Colts in great position here as they get things started. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the very, very talented Andrew Luck.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there was also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Luck on first down. Able to find a rookie from Ohio State, Paris Campbell. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. The end result, 21 yards. And boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Luck. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. Well, let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first-quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
3rd and long. It's Luck. This will be caught at about the 5. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down. A bit of a catch for him to remember. That's number 400 for his NFL career. Not a bad number at all. Line of scrimmage, the 2. They can still get a first down if they just get a yard out of this on 4th and very short. Luck going to keep it on the sneak. Now a hit, and Luck lost the football. It's out. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And it'll be a turnover on downs.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball
and nowhere to go. He goes down to the turf in the end zone. Tannehill taken down for the safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here. A safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now. But the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, and the whole month of December is still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
Tackle made there by Kiko Alonso.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On 2nd and 9, Luck gets this to Campbell out on the right side. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run. That's evidence of why you spend a high draft pick on a receiver, isn't it, Charles?
It certainly is. His ability to make plays like that, and we've seen flashes of it from him so far in his rookie season. But also, it opens things up for the rest of the offense because they have to bring their attention to him as well.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Now this throw caught left side. 22 yards there, a first down.
As far as I'm concerned, Andrew Luck can do it all. I mean, he's an underrated runner. Toughness in the pocket, strong and stout, but let's face it, the money, that comes from his arm.
And smart, valedictorian of his high school class in Houston, then he goes to Stanford. He's got it all. Mixon with a first down carry. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talk
under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line.
That's how we do it, baby.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Hey, Echo.
Second quarter now from Indianapolis with the homestanding Colts in possession. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. A shotgun snap for Luck. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Vinatieri, the NFL's oldest active player, also the league's all-time leading scorer, passed Morton Anderson last year.
Yeah, he turned 46 in December of 2018. He really can't see it in his leg. Maybe in the beard.
You can see it in the beard.
Maybe in the beard. That's about it. But as long as he's booting them the way he's booting them, keep going, big guy.
We take a look ahead at what's to come later tonight. Sunday Night Football, it'll be the Vikings and the Cowboys from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And then tomorrow night, we've got the Seahawks and the Niners from Levi's Stadium. And we were in the Bay Area. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Justin Houston, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
They try to throw. On 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Tannehill. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Here's Matt Hawk now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Strong right. Go ahead, go ahead.
They'll fake it. Now Love. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Rashad Jones.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. The first throw for the backup Rosen. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Justin Houston in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to.
And he's going to go down again. Justin Houston, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Sets up the screen to Lewis. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
Returnable for Grant. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Now a nice throw here, right side. He hauls it in. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 15 yards on the play, 1st down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
A really nice gain of 25 yards.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Paris Campbell, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Vinatieri connecting on the extra point, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. 7 yards there and a first down. Here's Rosen to throw. Caught right side. It's Lewis. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Rosen. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
And now it's Rosen looking. They got a man over the middle. It's Woods. Past the 20. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Robert Woods, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins have got it back to a one-score game. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And you're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you've got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are on the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
47 is the mic. Quo. That's the way.
Now a play fake, and it's locked. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, second down. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
But you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
2nd and 10, Luck again. Finds his rookie first rounder. It's Noah Fant. And he caught it up. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now Rosen looking to throw. Oh, Rosen is stripped of the football. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play.
Sack C, baby.
So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2.
Yeah, that's right. Get off the train tracks, baby. Get off the train tracks.
This challenge was initiated by the guys in New York. Taking a look at the play, less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach, all the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
47's the mic. 47's the mic. Watch the right. Watch the right.
Go.
Mike's 47. Mike's 47.
All day.
11B. 52.
Off of play action. Love looking deep for Hilton. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
I'm here all day. I'm here all day.
A final shot before the break. Lock. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. We now proceed to the start of the second half. Second half ready to get underway. The Colts with a lead, and they will receive the football. This is fielded at the goal line.
That's it, baby. We got work.
Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. On second down, here's Mixon. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Got an open man. That's Campbell. A gain of 32 that time.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. Throwing is Locke. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first. Down. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Here's Locke. It's complete to Graham. That pickup goes for 25. What a flip of the script from 4th down to 1st.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to. Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 12-yard line.
Mike, check out. 290. One day. Quo.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Luck. Now he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Paris Campbell, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Colts add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half.
Now it's caught inside the 25. And he'll be taken down, but first he gets deep into Indianapolis territory. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get...
And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags, and I believe this is going to be a first down. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now a handoff for Gore. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can...
That's caught by Woods for a Miami touchdown. Robert Woods with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins able to get this back within a touchdown.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, one by land, two by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Let's go, boys. Bring it.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance. So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And he is finally out of bounds, but not before taking it down inside the 30. A big play there for Indy. 52 yards. We know he's... good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Alabama man, Dre Kirkpatrick. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35.
Well, Brandon, this is a former first-round pick, and he's been a bit of a disappointment in his career up till now, but he's still got room to grow. And this is an excellent play right here to come away with the football.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. After the interception, here's Rosen. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand.
Let's go.
Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
What a catch and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They
don't
get
they?
a little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. The play fake to Ballage. Now Rosen. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Justin Houston in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool the defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just...
And he's going to lose yardage here as they will switch ends. Time is run out on this third quarter of play. Here's Matt Hawk now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Here comes Grant on the return. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. From the gun, a give to Mixon. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Throwing on 3rd down. Luck. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
7 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
An ideal spot here to get a 1st down and try to run some more clock, and this is 2nd and less than a yard.
Check 3. Check 24. 11. Ready.
Here's Love. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Olivier Vernon make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
That play was hard to see. One play goes wrong, and all of a sudden it's third and very long when they had been in second and inches.
Yeah, I know you like the idea of taking a shot on second and inches, but you can't take a sack for that big of a loss.
That's the one thing you cannot do. They gave it up, and now they're way behind the chains. Good luck with this next play call.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. So decision time now, because a field goal keeps it a one-score game. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the down and distance, and that's where the issue comes in. It's not short enough that it's a no-brainer and you go for it. You have to analyze this one. To me, you take the field goal, take the points. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And out come the Dolphins now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline.
And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Jadeveon Clowney, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Good work after the catch, going to net him 23 and a first. He's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. Back to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Woods. 16 yards, a first down. Rosen to throw, and he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Jadeveon Clowney in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
Exactly what they were looking for.
Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Colts pick it up. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And this defense has broken it open as they return it to the house for 6. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that. And that's what they've done all game long.
Vinatieri now for the point after. And the lead is up to 15 now. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Tannehill and the Dolphins now down by 15. 65 seconds remaining. They've won 3 in a row, but they've got work to do if they want to get a 4th in a row as they come up on first down. To throw is Rosen. It's caught by Moncrief. The Dolphins moving with a sense of urgency here. To throw again on second down. Rosen, a gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. This quarterback now just 1 misfire so far after that last completion, 15 of 16. It's first down. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. From midfield now, here's Rosen. He's going to let it fly. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Robert Woods, former USC man, the intended target, and it's 3rd down. Looking to erase a 2-score deficit here in the 4th quarter, going for some big plays.
Yeah, they certainly were. They just decided one shot, didn't they?
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the rookie from Temple, Rocky Sin. And he'll take this all the way down inside the 40. Landry, the intended target. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. After the interception, it's Love. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
It leads to 2nd and 10.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10.
Hey, Stu! You don't know no better.
Luck going to throw it. And Luck will be intercepted for a 3rd time. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
No, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for Indianapolis, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Jaguars will come to town. Meanwhile, for Miami, they'll lose an important one here as that drops them to 5-4 on the season. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll